All right. So we are back for another episode of NB3 Sports Talk, episode 5. We got 5 episodes up. We are back here with Neil and Big Nate. Shout out to them for making it back on episode 5. Today, we're going to get into some real interesting topics here. You're going to see here, we're going to talk about the response to the NFL, social response to the injustice, and we're also going to talk about Paul Pierce's top 5 and debate our top 5 NBA players of all time. So we're going to start off with our first topic here. I'm going to let Neil take the lead on this one. What are your thoughts on Roger Goodell's response to their social injustice video after Michael Thomas and Patrick Mahomes led that video the day before?
It's a real tough situation because I literally think these are one of the reasons. I think he responded the way he responded is because the face of the NFL was in that video, which is not Tom Brady anymore. It isn't Aaron Rodgers. It happens to be a mixed but black quarterback at the same time, Patrick Mahomes. He was in that video, so I think that played a major part because you want to at least look like you're supporting your top dollar guy. But at the same time, I'm tired of these owners, these commissioners giving these cliche PR and these PR announcements and these donations. And first of all, when they giving out this amount, this $24 million, where did this money go to? They never said where is the money going to. When players get fined, we don't know where that money going to. It can just be going to the league, and we not know about it. So I need them to be more to just take the initiative and all right, what are you giving the money to? Is it a cause? Is it an organization? And also we need their voices. We need them. I don't know if they have a legal issue with Colin Kaepernick where they can't say his name, but they need to apologize to Colin Kaepernick because we're glad you came to the party, but you're kind of late. And Colin Kaepernick been telling y'all about this. He's been warning y'all about this situation that happened in the world today. And it's sad the fact that George Floyd had to be the cause of it for them to at least acknowledge what's going on. So I need these owners. I need in each sport, NBA, Major League Baseball, all the commissioners. We need your voices because it's just to a point where if y'all don't speak up, y'all proving that y'all don't care. And the only people y'all care about is the black people that make y'all money. We want y'all to care for black people that can't make the money.
Right.
So I just feel as if Roger Goodell, I'm glad he's, it's a step, but at the same time, it's not good enough. So I won't accept anything or sleep good at night until he apologizes to Colin Kaepernick. And we need an owner or him to just make a big statement because we need faces, we need voices because these cliches and these PR statements are getting kind of old and I'm tired of
it. I agree, and I was going to say the same thing. Just to hit off your last point there, I need an owner. We need the owners to step up because we all know that the owners are in charge of the NFL. It's not Roger Goodell, really. They have all the say in anything that's decided. So that is something that needs to be brought up is the owners, big name owners as well. But I'm gonna let you get into a big name before I get into it because I got a rant to go on about that topic as well. You can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I had to unmute. My thoughts on Roger Goodell's response to the NFL. One, I think the Michael Thomas put together the response. One of the people in the NFL office got with Michael Thomas because Michael Thomas gave him a call and say, hey, he wanted to put something out after the Drew Brees fiasco and everything else. He wanted to put something out. So he called his peers and they got together. I think the response, because of how they put it out and they said, on behalf of the NFL, they didn't say the NFL is doing this. They put it out on behalf of the NFL from the players' part. And they had but they had named young talent that Roger Goodell had to take an interest to it. Now, Patrick Mahomes, whether we like it or not, but it's Madison Avenue. He's the stable of the NFL. He's the face of the NFL right now, whether we like it or not. And people will say, well, Lamar Jackson can be face of the NFL. Well, if you look at it, fashion, Madison Avenue wise, Lamar Jackson, gold teeth, plaits, or whatever, he's not going to be the fashion. That's just not what white America is going to embrace. They're going to embrace a Patrick Mahomes because he's less threatening to them. And in this day and age, that's what they like. So they're going to embrace Patrick Mahomes. When Patrick Mahomes, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Ezekiel Elliott, all of the young stars spoke up, he had to sit back and take notice. Now, I think he made his own statement. He went to his own basement like he did on draft day, and he did it out with the camera crew and by himself because he wanted it to come from him. Now, personally, it could have came from the owners, but Roger Goodell was at a point that the owners can't do nothing to him. They brought him in to replace Paul Tagliabue because they wanted the hammer drop because Paul Tagliabue was too soft with the players and too buddy-buddy, so they couldn't get everything done. So they brought Roger Goodell in to drop the hammer. So because he's at the point now that he has earned so much money for all of the owners that he can stand alone. He can be like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to take this stand, and this is what we need to do, and I don't need your permission. And that's why the owners have not stepped up and made a statement because he didn't need them to make a statement. He's like, I'm doing this on my own because these are the players. This is what they feel like, and this is what we're doing. So, and I feel it was a good statement. It was what was needed. I don't feel as though one, because I think it's a lawsuit. The lawsuit was settled between him and Colin Kaepernick, the league, and Colin. That I don't believe that they can speak on each other for a certain period of time. That's what I firmly believe. Whether they're going to get it out or not, I just don't believe that they can speak on each other. I do believe that it is. That I do not ever believe he's going to directly apologize to Colin Kaepernick. And why would Roger Goodell apologize to it? Because he is the manager of the owners, that it was their inclusion to keep him out of the league. Why would he feel as though he was calling this owed an apology from him because he's the caregiver of it? So I don't think he's ever going to get an apology of it. Do I think he's ever going to get a job? No, I don't. No, I don't. One, because too much time has passed. It's been 3.5 years. Can he still play right now? Yeah, but if you look at it, and I love Colin Kaepernick, so take everything I say with a grain of salt and just look at the talent. As the talent on the field is, yeah, he is. The game has evolved, and Colin Kaepernick was the captain of that era, what ushered us into the RPOs and the mobile quarterbacks and everything else. However, he laid out the blueprint. However, I do not think that he was on the top of his game that a lot of people can overlook some things. One, he got him to 2 consecutive NFC championships and got him to a Super Bowl. Had he won the Super Bowl or won both of them, then I believe we would be in an unexcusable part that they could not excuse his talent or anything because it would be evident there. They're going to keep going back on the fact that he lost his job to Blaine Gabbert when we all know it was Chip Kelly as the coach and management that didn't want him to have the job because then they couldn't deal with Blaine Gabbert no more and put him back in there. We all know that because if you look at all of the stats his last year, he still overachieved 95% of all backups that were in the league and people that started same time as him, people like Ryan Fitzpatrick and everything else. He still had more stats with less starts and less throws, better stats than anybody within that group. So you can't take away from it talent-wise. They're just going to come back and say it's too long of a time. We don't need to apologize. I don't think anybody will sign him. If someone signs him, it will take the minority owner that's in Jacksonville to just go out on a limb or like a San Francisco or someone that just be like, look, I'm rolling with this. This is what I want. And this is who we got as our backup quarterback, and this is what we rolling with, and go on that.
But to go back,
but I'm done. You can go ahead.
But to go back on what you just said, if he had won a Super Bowl, he was one play away in bringing them back in that Super Bowl against the Ravens. He was one drop catch away.
Controversial play away.
but it was still one play away. So you telling me that he's not good enough still? If you're saying he's been practicing 5 days a week for
No,
3 years,
no.
He
I wouldn't
deserves
and
the
I
say
understand,
opportunity,
and
though.
I understand you saying he got to adjust to the game pace because we all know that football speed, and going out there and practicing is totally different, especially in the NFL when you haven't played for 3 years. But I still believe he has the talent to be a starter. I just don't believe, like you said, he will get that opportunity to be a starter. And it all starts with the NFL. I'm gonna get right into it with the NFL's response. I didn't like it because it came after the players' response. Why wasn't your response first? You know what I'm saying? If you are the commissioner, you need to take the initiative and make that statement before your players do. So that's why I didn't like the response and him sitting down in that chair and making that response. And also, um, just getting to the owners. Like owners have to speak up. They have to step up because they've caused that. So they caused that confusion and everything with Colin Kaepernick and not giving him a job and everything. So they need to step up. And one owner in particular that needs to step up is Jerry Jones. In my thought, Jerry Jones needs to step up because he has a lot to say. And I love my owner. I love Dallas Cowboys and all that stuff. But he has a lot to say when it doesn't pertain to him or particular to him. He always has a lot to say, but he also has to step up in this moment because he is the best, not the best, but the well-known owner within the NFL, the richest owner in the NFL, and he has a huge impact within the NFL society. So I just think he needs to step up and make a statement, and that'll really help the cause and everything. I wish Colin Kaepernick can get a job. I don't think it'll be possible just because they've exiled him for this long. I don't think anybody will cave in now. And even if they do, he would be a backup. He wouldn't be a starter right away. And it's going to be pressure on them. Okay, when's Kaepernick going to play? It's just too much. So I don't think he will get a job. I think he'll draw interest. They'll bring him in for practice and everything, but they won't sign him. And it's real unfortunate that it's gotten to that point with the player just because he was speaking up on social injustice, something that's right. It's not something that he's sticking up for anything else that's foul or anything. It's human rights.
Yeah.
So
But
it's sad that he
But
had to do it, but I'm proud that he did it though. I'm proud that he stood to it. All these years. But it's just unfortunate.
I do not believe that we're gonna hear different owners speak up. They may speak up when the time has come where they're forced to speak up when the season gets more into play and the microphone is in their face. They will speak up and say something. Then, however, I do believe that Jerry Jones. You got to look at the NFL as a whole. With all 32 owners, majority, I would say probably 99.5% of them are staunch Republicans. Whether they believe in Trump's policies or not, they are staunch Republicans. So they're going to always look out for their top dollar line. I love my Cowboys as well as you, and Neil loves his Chargers, but they're owned by Republican owners. They're going to donate to the Republican Party. Whether you support all of Trump's policies, if you've given $500,000 to him, you basically support his policies because he's going to be the Republican candidate to run for office. So it was not shocking to me for Jerry Jones not to speak out. I was not looking for a response.
He's not going
That's
to.
just it.
It affects his bottom line.
Yeah. When he
Right.
goes to that, and once they get more to training camp and everything, he will speak out and he will have some bland statement, but he's not going to be the upfront man and go right out and do it. And no owner is. That's why I said it's going to take an owner to stand out there by himself and to be like, look, I'm out here on my own and I'm going to do it. Regardless of what you say, I'm just going to believe in what's right. And I think Roger Goodell is trying to get ahead of the storm that's coming because there'll be a lot more individuals that are taking a knee. There'll be a lot more standing. And the way football has always been, bringing up the rears because football has the most unrecognizable athletes because everyone has a helmet. You only recognize the top stars. Dude could walk by you, a punter could stand next to you in the Burger King line and you not know who he is. But you let some dude on the end of the NBA bench that we know who he is because he's never been in the helmet, never been hidden from the public. So therefore, they're always going to be the last ones to speak up for that. So I look at it like that. It wasn't shocking that he didn't speak up. It is a shame that Colin won't get the job. But even if he does get one now, look at the scrutiny that he's going to be under. Any missed pass, oh, he's out of shape. He's been out of the league too long. Any run
That
to
was
where
gonna come
somebody runs a
regardless.
yeah,
That was gonna come regardless.
he's been out of the league too long. He can't handle this now. Any hit that he gets slow to get up on is all gonna go back to that. If you start him and he has a bad game and you bench him, then they're gonna be like, he doesn't have it no more. Why did you pick him? Be that. So it's gonna keep going back and forth. The scrutiny is too much for him right now.
But here's my thing. Like, so you switch it up. So they did the video. They kept saying like, I'm George Floyd. So what if, for example, if Dak Prescott was George Floyd, something bad happened to Dak Prescott, or somebody, or Odell Beckham or Saquon Barkley, a black star in the NFL, and they happen to be involved in police brutality. Would the owner step up then? Because I say like they would, because it affects the bottom line.
Yeah.
George Floyd has nothing to do with Jerry Jones or the Rooneys or anybody else in the NFL that owns a team. So that's why they're just sitting there. We're going to donate this hush money so they can be quiet. But I really truly believe if they had a player on their team, any player that's black, don't have to be the star, but any player, they would have said something because it affects their team. But because it's just a regular guy to them, but not a regular guy to us, they don't really care. So I think they're fickle. Yeah. I think they're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. They see Adidas and Nike and all these companies doing, and they're just going to follow suit. They're just riding the wave. Oh, the best thing to do is support Black Lives Matter. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to get hate mail in the mail. We don't want to get cussed out on Twitter. So they're doing the best they can. So.
Yeah. And they're following their sponsors. Their sponsors have an issue with it. So me as the parent company, I gotta have an issue with it because you're the one that's giving money to me. So I got to have an issue with it. I got to say, yeah, we stand for Black Lives Matter.
And to go off what you said, Neil, like it's very possible that it could be that situation. You know, God forbid that happens to anybody, but to one of their NFL players because they get stopped even at a traffic. You know, because when you pull somebody over the top, you black. So they run into the same encounters that we run into. So that's very possible to happen. Like you said, they don't care because it's not one of their players or anything that affected them. And like you said, they're just going to push them their touch money. I definitely agree with that. I just think the NFL just needs to do better. I just think they need to apologize as well to Colin Kaepernick. And just, that'll be a first step.
Just mention his name.
But like you said, they may have a legal thing, but you have to just at least apologize to him, man. You just got to apologize because you've exiled him for the last 3 years, something that this man worked hard for his whole life to get to the NFL, and he just get exiled for taking a knee during that anthem, and that getting twisted around and everything. So that's what I
believe. That's the closest thing we're gonna get to an apology is what they said. They apologize for not allowing the players to speak up. I think that's the closest thing we're gonna get to them saying they apologize to Colin Kaepernick. That's the sad. Closest we gonna.
And that's sad because it was just like a minute video that they didn't even mention them. They just apologized and said that they're here with the oppression of black people and everything. So it didn't really seem like an apology to me because the players came out and spoke before you, and then you have to come bring up the rear end on that when you're supposed to be spearheading it. So that's what I think that needs to happen. For that to kind of not go away but be the first step. So. With that being said, we're just going to go right into our next topic. This is a fun one here. I don't know if you guys noticed a couple weeks ago, we had Paul Pierce, and he had his top 5.
Who was his top 5? Yeah.
He had Michael Jordan.
All right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, and Kobe Bryant. And listen, but wait, before we get into it, this is what he said when he was asked why James was not included on the list. He said, what has LeBron did to build up any organization from the ground? I'm talking about these players, top 5 players. Bill Russell built the organization of Boston. Kareem, Magic, Duncan, Kobe, Bird. Those guys are all-time tip players who helped build their organization or continue to position. So we're gonna get into this here. Big Nate, I'm gonna let you take this one.
I think
What do you think about his top five, and then afterwards, give me your top five.
I can argue with his top five and saying that they are good players and they are top five. And if he had left it at that, that would have been it because his top five does stand for himself. If he had left it at that, but when he kept talking the reasons why he did this, that's what really let out his true feelings behind it. Because if he had left it with his top five, nobody would have had an issue with it because they would have been like, okay, multiple championships, this, that, and the third. Nobody would have. But when he kept talking about it, then you have it. That's when you start, underlining the layers. Who can argue with Bill Russell? Bill Russell got more championships than anybody else, and he's never included into the GOAT conversation. Who can argue with Kareem, the leading scorer in the NBA? They got more rings than anybody, and he's never included in the thing. Who can argue with Magic Johnson? He basically changed the whole game. There has never been a 6'9" point guard such as Magic Johnson, and even in his rookie year, he played every position and even played center in the sixth game and won the championship for the Lakers. So who can argue with his 5 championships? Nobody can. Nobody would take that. Who can argue with Kobe? He got 3 with Shaq, and they said he wasn't going to win no more without him. He worked hard and built up the team around him that he got 2 more without Shaq. Who can argue with that? What was his 5th one?
2000, he beat the Celtics,
and Michael Jordan team. Who can argue? Who can argue with MJ? Who can argue with that? I mean, so if he left it at that, it would have been fine. But when he started talking, you notice the hate that he had for LeBron, and to say that he did not build up an organization. He took Cleveland in his first couple of years in the league with nobody on there and scored 25 straight to beat the Detroit Pistons to get to the finals. He ran it.
Third or fourth year.
I'm like, come on. Hey, you cannot say that he did not bring a team up there and to go to Miami and to build a team. Dude, Paul Pierce, you didn't get to the championship until Ray Allen and KG got there. You didn't take them by yourself, so you got.
Thank you.
So don't keep getting these excuses. That's why I said if he just shut up after his time, he would not have been in all of this because he kept talking. That's when you start exposing yourself. You're mad because that man has denied you of a 2nd and 3rd championship, and you're upset with that. You built your team. You got Ray Allen there. You got KG there. You got the business stoppers like Tony Allen and
preaching
teachers
right now.
and everybody there. Still ran into the buzzsaw of LeBron James and his team, and so you're mad. Now, going on my top 5, my top 5 will go Michael Jordan, Penny Hardaway, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, LeBron James. That's just going to be my top 5. Could I argue with putting Bill Russell and Kareem in there and Magic Johnson? Absolutely. But my top 5, I look at it as the top 5 players that I've seen in my day and time that I grew up watching play. And for you guys, it's a little bit different. Like Brandon's a Carmelo Anthony fan. That's who he grew up loving. Brianna's Kobe Bryant. Brian,
love Carmelo. That's his boy right there.
But all Brian has known at 15 years is LeBron James has been in the finals. He does not know anything else.
Because he been in the finals, 9 times, and he's 15?
9 times out of 15 years. So by the time he started basketball at 6, all he's known is 23 has been in them finals.
Yeah, the other 23.
Yeah, he didn't even know the first 23. The first 23 was just a pair of shoes to him. He didn't know anything else. He was like, we got Jordans.
We gonna be saying that in 15 years when another guy come in. Yeah, we have LeBron. Who's that? So it goes.
So he Pierce stepped into it when he kept talking. That's just the bottom line.
That's crazy. Paul Pierce. You want to go, Brandon, or you want me to go?
No. Let me go. Let me say something. My dad's top 5 here. You got Penny Hardaway and Allen Iverson.
I think those are his favorites. They're not the typical.
But Neil, ask your brother, your roommate, what's his middle name? So he should never question why Penny Hardaway is on my list.
Anthony.
Look, I'm fucking.
Anthony.
All right.
That's funny.
I'm just gonna put my middle name out here. That's cool.
But you should never
That's cool.
Penny is on the list. Without the knee injury and Penny experience, Penny would have been what Magic Johnson is. Penny
And
was
all the
on
players,
that.
all the players said that he would have been probably better than Magic or up there with point guards.
Yeah, Michael Jordan could do. I want you to go back and watch those games. Even when MJ came back the second year, but they battled Shaq and them, and they beat Shaq and them 4-2. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen could do nothing with.
Couldn't do nothing with him.
All right, so I give it that because the Apple first thought I was like, you left a couple people off, but hey. Let me say something about Paul Pierce first before I get into my top 5. Paul Pierce has always been a hater to me. He's always been hating because he didn't get as much love as Kobe. He didn't get as much love as LeBron. He didn't get as much love as D Wade, as Carmelo Anthony and all these players. So he was always hating. Even when you said that he got Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett to come play with him, but that's when you started winning because you was just balling out there by yourself and you still didn't get the love that you was looking for. So I'm not gonna really dig into him. That didn't really surprise me because he's always been a hater. He's always gonna say hater things like that. Even when he gets on the halftime shows when we had NBA back, he always been hating with his comments and like, why can't you just give praise to me like Allen Iverson does and all these other players do, give them praise and praises due. Why you gotta go hating on them and all this stuff. But hey, he's always been a hater. And as for my top 5, I have Magic, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Shaq. That's my top 5.
You can't argue. Like you can't. Yeah.
That's my top 5 because if you put it on the court, all in their prime, that's scary. That's scary right there. You got Michael, Kobe with Magic running the show, Shaq and LeBron. That's my top 5.
Yeah, you can't argue. You can't argue both any of your top 5. Like, I guess I'll chime in. Paul Pierce is he's just an underachiever. Like if he didn't have that one year where they won a championship, he was just been one of those players that would have just put up a lot of points, but no winning. That Boston team was severely overrated. They had Paul Pierce, Allen, KG, Doc Rivers, and Rajon Rondo was a great point guard, and they only won one championship in the 3 years together. So they severely underachieved. So, and the team that beat him, the guy that stood in his way was LeBron. So he's like, he feels salty, and it's sad because he was talking big and bad when LeBron had Ilgauskas and Varejao and Delonte West, and you was in the playoffs with him fighting one-on-one, and he still was giving you buckets. He just didn't have help, and you barely beat him. You lost, and they lost in 6 games. But when LeBron said, you know what if I had some guys to offset your guys? What if I get D-Wade for Ray Allen? And what if I get Chris Bosh for KG? Let's see how we do it. And LeBron James beat him so bad that KG and Paul Pierce went to the Nets and say, oh, let's team up with Darren Williams and all those guys in Brooklyn. And Paul Pierce in the playoff game, I think I can take LeBron. LeBron James scored 49 on you in the elimination game. So I'm just like, you gotta let it go, Paul Pierce. He's an overrated player. He wishes he was on the pantheon of greats, and he's not. He's beloved, but he's a great Boston Celtic, but he's not a great NBA player. That's the difference. There's great players in franchises, but he's not a pantheon great. You know what I'm saying? So Paul Pierce, he's not an elite. Like he's not an elite. He's probably like a top 15, 20 small forward of all time. I'll give him that. Ooh. And he's probably because you can name a lot of small forwards better than Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and I don't really go by the range. I just go by talent. Because he's never won MVP. He's never had defensive. He never had an all defensive team. He never been on a first team All NBA. So it's just he don't have a scoring title. He was never a top 5 player. So if he didn't get Ray Allen, KG, he would have just been a bucket getter, which is fine. But I'm not surprised by Paul Pierce. But to get to my top 5, I go by players that I've seen in my lifetime. I don't go by what people say to me, what people supposedly is the right choice. I go with my eyes. I've been watching basketball since I was 6 years old. As you see in the back, Allen Iverson, I have 2 AI jerseys. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in my life because only NBA game I ever went to was a Sixers versus Wizards game. I saw him drop 48 points, and I thought that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So Allen Iverson is my favorite, and I think number 1 as far as like point guard. Shooting guard, call me controversial. I'm not a Jordan guy. I love Kobe at number 2. I seen Jordan. I go by what I see, like live. I've seen Kobe more than Jordan. I've seen Jordan after the fact. Like, oh, Jay, Jordan was nice. I see why y'all wear his shoes. But I like Kobe because I think Kobe does some things on the basketball court better than Jordan. So I like that. And number 3 is obviously LeBron. I think if you don't have LeBron in your top 5, your top 5 is like invalid. Like you gotta have LeBron James on there as either forwards. Power forward, I go with Tim Duncan, and center, I go with Shaq.
Timmy D makes your top 5?
Yeah, because I go by he was the best power forward of my generation.
That's
Better
true.
than KG, better than Dirk, and people forget before. I mean, Tim Duncan's not a sexy pick. He doesn't dunk on people. He doesn't shake nobody up. He don't get like, but he gets the job done.
Okay. I can't argue with that either.
I think you're muted, Big Nate.
Okay, go ahead. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, I say, what do you think about my top 5? Yeah.
No, I like the top 5, but power forward, you can't go against Tim Duncan. You can't go against Tim Duncan, and you gotta have the 2 staples. You gotta have LeBron and you gotta have Kobe within the top 5, and especially in you guys' generation, these are players that you've seen. Whether at the tail end, I mean, look, y'all 20, 25. LeBron's been doing this for what, 15 years?
17
years
since
out of your
03. So, yep.
So that's basically since y'all been watching basketball, LeBron has been here.
The crazy part is, like I'm saying, generation 10 years from now, it's gonna be like, we ask kids these days, oh, who's your favorite player? Oh, I love Steph Curry. I love Kevin Durant. I love John Morant, Zion Williamson. Yeah. I love Mikey Williams in 20 years.
Yeah. Now let me flip this question to ask you, throwing a bonus question for you guys. Do you believe Steph Curry is a top 5 all-time shooter?
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of the game.
Okay, now you say Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of the game. Let me ask you this. Has Steph Curry shot any playoff winners?
No. I ain't say he was the clutches, but I'm saying he's
right. He's the best shooter.
Yeah, I hear you. Steph Curry is
the greatest weapon, probably.
Yeah. And Steph Curry is the best trick shooter, I would say. He's like Rick Barry. And a Bob Cousy. He will hit all of the tough shots, but the consistency of Steph Curry is not there to where he will hit all of the game winners.
In crunch time, I wouldn't take him. But when you go for shooting, he's the best all around package. He's great.
Right.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great off the dribble. He's great off screens. He's great. Like the difference between him and other players, his he can shake somebody up and shoot from 35 feet. That's the difference. Like his range is sick. But the player on his team, Klay Thompson, I think he is the best spot up 3-point shooter ever.
Yeah, Klay Thompson is a better shooter than Steph Curry.
Shooting with no dribbles, like just catch and shoot, nothing else. He's the best because he can.
He's the best over Ray Allen.
Spot up shooting, yes. Spot up shooting, yes. Better than Reggie Miller. Yeah. I'm talking about spot up, not shooting, not scoring.
I know. I'm saying spot up.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say spot up. He runs a close. Him and Ray Allen run neck and neck
because both 37 and a quarter though.
Yeah, but him and Ray Allen, if I had to throw the ball to one of the two, it would be neck and neck toss to that. If I had to at the end, because the way I say that about Steph Curry is Steph Curry had LeBron in them 3-1. Whether we count out Draymond Green and his influence and everything, he was up 3-1 on LeBron, and he
Yeah.
had 3 opportunities to close out LeBron and never could do it himself. And when he got KG took over his team, and it became KD's team as opposed to Steph's team. And if you're the best shooter in the world, you should have never needed anybody else to beat LeBron James when you were up 3-1.
I think that's the only thing that's just separates Steph Curry from being, because a lot of people saying, not me, he's top 2 3-point guards ever. He's not there yet because we haven't seen him lead a team like he's the no doubt best player. We've seen Isaiah Thomas do it. We've seen, like, even Kyrie Irving hit a big shot. He wasn't the best player. Like, Kyrie Irving hit a big shot on Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we have to see him kind of do what Kevin Durant did. Like, can you take a team and can you carry your team? And he hasn't done that yet. He has opportunity to do that now because we're about to rebuild. But you talking about like all around shooting, not clutch. He's hit some big shots, but he hasn't hit great ones. But Steph Curry all around is probably the best shooter just because he can shoot from anywhere, anytime, and he's just so explosive. And off the dribble is just crazy.
And to go off of what you said, he's the greatest of all time because he changed the game too. Because we had some great 3-point shooters in our history, in the history of the NBA. But he changed the game with his shooting just because, like you said, he could shoot off the dribble, he could shoot spot up, and he runs around like a Rip Hamilton, like a Ray Allen off screens, off ball. So he really creates those shots for himself, and he really just changed the game. How they see him now shooting the 3-pointer. Because I remember when we was watching it growing up, they were shooting, in the paint. They had big men dominating the league, and if you didn't have a big man, they didn't consider you a contender because everything was controlled in the paint. And he really just helped expand it. The league was already expanding that way with Ray Allen and those shooters in that era, Pages, Stojakovic, and everything. But he just helped it get further down the line in terms of changing the game.
Good question, though. But I think Steph Curry is the best all-around shooter ever.
Yeah, for sure.
He's 50, 40, 90. 50 from the field, 40 from 3, 90 from free throw line all his career. So you gotta. Yeah. That's just, you can't deny that.
So y'all ready for these bonus?
No, but we gonna try.
Some bonus trivia. I got some bonus trivia this week. I decided to throw a little bit of fun in here since we had, short topics today. Decided to do a little bonus in here. So this week's bonus is called Guess the Super Bowl Matchup. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to name the Super Bowl and the number. For example, I can say Super Bowl 1, and I'm going to ask you who were the 2 teams in that Super Bowl and who won. All right? The goal is to get to 3 points each. Whoever gets the 3 points first wins the game, okay?
All right.
So here we go with the first Super Bowl we're going to go with is Super Bowl 36. Who were the 2 teams in that Super Bowl and who won that Super Bowl?
Dang, I need a hint.
All right, so
Super Bowl 36 was what, 15 years ago?
About so.
This is Super Bowl 51.
We're on 51 now.
We're not on 51. We're on like 55 or something like that. We on the mid 50s almost now.
Okay, so that had to be. So we on like 53 or 54. That was like 18 years ago. I know when the Cowboys, we ain't been there since '94.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. It gotta be a Patriots though. Patriots had to be in it. Patriots had to be in it. I don't know who they played, but Patriots had to be in it because that's early 2000s. It gotta be.
Rams and Titans, and the Rams won.
Close. Both of y'all close. That's your final answer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go New England. New England and who they play? New England and the Rams.
All right. So you got that one right. That's New England and the Rams. Super Bowl 36. You got partial right.
Super Bowl off.
I don't know. Who won. Oh, Patriots. Yeah, it's Tom Brady.
The Patriots won 2017. That was 2002.
Yeah, that was the videotape cheating game.
Yep. All right, so let's go. We'll go for a little bit more recent one, and then before we go a little bit further back. All right. So this one is going to be Super Bowl. Wait, I want to change it up real quick. I just changed my mind. Sorry. There we go. All right. Super Bowl 44. Who were the two teams and who was the winner?
Super Bowl 44. That was like 8 years ago.
Super Bowl 44.
Super Bowl 44.
Pittsburgh and Arizona Cardinals.
You going Pittsburgh and Arizona? What about you, Big Nate?
You're going Pittsburgh, Arizona. I'm gonna go Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And Green Bay won.
All right, so you said Arizona and Pittsburgh, and you said Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Since that was my first pick, I can't change it.
All right. So both of y'all were wrong. The teams are the Saints and the Colts.
Oh.
First Super Bowl.
Okay.
In Miami.
When Peyton had that pick six, I remember that.
Yeah.
Tracy Porter.
Yeah. Tracy Porter had that pick
That's
six.
a while ago.
Walking the dog down the field. I remember that one.
That was a good one.
Let's go a little bit deeper because, Super Bowl 40s are kind of confusing to me when you really think about it, because he had a couple matchups with a couple teams that made it a couple times. He said Pittsburgh made it a couple times. And you had Arizona who made it once and everything. The Patriots, of course, they're in it. Let's see here.
Don't say Super Bowl number. Don't say Super Bowl 3. I wasn't born yet.
I'm not going back that far because I don't expect y'all to know that much.
1971. I don't know that.
All right, so Big Nate might know this one. So Super Bowl 31. Who were the two teams and who was the winner?
That's in the 90s.
31. So Tom Brady was in 36. So it was 5 years prior to that, 31. So you're talking about 20 some years from now.
You said 31?
31.
Wow. Oh, man.
I want to say the 49ers. And
is it 49ers and Chargers?
That's what I want to say.
I guess we got the same answer. I think 49ers and Chargers. The ones who we lost.
So I'm going to just go ahead and say both of y'all were wrong again. This Super Bowl was in 1998, I believe. And this was Brett Favre and the New England Patriots.
Oh.
Brett Favre.
Who was the quarterback for the Patriots?
Let me see. Who was
I think it was Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe?
It was.
Drew Bledsoe. That's the Reggie White Super Bowl. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That was a good game. I gotta look at my Super Bowls. I'm mad I got them wrong.
Okay, this one's a good one. Super Bowl 29. Who were the two teams and who was the winner?
31.
We got nailed with 1 point. I think Nate's trying to catch up here.
Super Bowl 29.
I got the Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills.
That's the answer?
I know the Cowboys is in it because y'all ran the 90s.
If it's not the Cowboys, it's the Redskins and the Denver Broncos.
What's your answer, Neil?
I don't know who the other team was. I know the Cowboys is in it. I'm gonna just say the Cowboys won. I don't know the other team.
Both of y'all are wrong again. It's actually the Super Bowl that you guessed earlier, the San Diego Chargers and the 49ers.
Wow.
That was Super Bowl 29.
Wow.
Okay.
I know y'all was expecting the Cowboys one, because I was too. Let me see here now. Here we go. One more back in the history. Let me test y'all knowledge here. Just a little bit. All right, Super Bowl 22. Super Bowl 22. This is the year of 1998. So who were the two teams?
You said 1998?
Who were the winners? 1998.
1998?
You sure it's 98?
I mean 1988. 88.
Oh, okay. 88.
1988.
That the Redskins?
That may be the Redskins and Denver Broncos. That may be Doug Williams.
Redskins. I'm gonna just say I don't know the teams. I just know I think the Redskins won. I'm gonna just go say that.
No, I think, hold on. We got 91, 92, and 94. Redskins were the year before that, and 90, and then 89. I want to say the Giants.
That's your final answer.
The Giants and now the Giants and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I got to say the Redskins.
That's your final answer? All right, so actually, Big Nate, you should have kept your first answer, which was the Redskins and the Broncos.
Go with your gut. Go with your gut.
Yep, that was the Doug Williams game.
Yep, 1988. Neil got 2 points. You need one more point.
Oh, I won that.
Big Nate trying to. One more point. So let's go a little bit more recent here. Go back. I think I want to go back to the Super Bowl 40. All right, Super Bowl 48. Who were the two teams? Who was the winner? And a half a bonus point, or actually a bonus point, if you can tell me where this game was played.
Oh, you said 40. You said 48.
Super Bowl 48. A little recent.
Oh man. 48. We're on 50. Oh, this is tough.
I told you those Super Bowl 40, they get a little bit confusing.
I gotta guess. Oh man, 48. Super Bowl 48. Dang. I want to get it right.
48.
Give me another hint.
48. What number are we on now?
48.
Super Bowl 48.
No, I meant what Super Bowl are we on now?
Oh, somebody look. No. Nobody look it up. I got it. Nobody look it up. Nobody look it up.
48.
Super Bowl 48. I'm gonna just guess.
I can't remember the place. However, Seattle and Denver and Russell Wilson won. I can't tell you where.
There you go.
Because that was the first time that Peyton went and he got smacked.
Dang, those 40s is hard. Oh.
Is that your answer? That's your answer.
I can't tell you where it was from, but my answer is Seattle and Denver.
What's your answer, Neil?
Seattle. I'm gonna say Seattle. Cause you picked Seattle and who?
I got Seattle and Denver, and Seattle won.
I'm just gonna pick Seattle and Patriots. And Patriots won.
So close. And before I say the answer to this, we just had Super Bowl 54. So this year, Super Bowl will be 55.
Okay.
And Super Bowl 48 was Seattle and Denver.
Oh yeah.
The 44-8 blowout. And y'all didn't get this one, the bonus one. Remember, everybody was concerned about it being cold because it was
in New York.
It was in MetLife Stadium. MetLife Stadium hosted the Super Bowl in February.
Yeah.
That was crazy. All right, so we got Nate on the board. We got 2-1 here. 2-1. I'm gonna keep it in the 40s for y'all because I like the 40s so much in terms of Super Bowl.
Oh, no, these.
I grew up on. All right, so Super Bowl 41.
Super Bowl 41.
Oh,
Super Bowl 41.
so that was Super Bowl 48. 41 was 7 years earlier. So, was it Seattle and Detroit? I mean, Seattle and Pittsburgh.
You said Seattle and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the Bears and the Colts.
All right, that's your final answer?
Yep.
All right, so it was the Bears and the Colts. It was
Let's go, I guess.
Peyton Manning's redemption, or was it redemption? His first one, his first Super Bowl. So there was 29-17. Rex Grossman, the quarterback.
And
Miami.
Devin Hester returned the first kick.
Yep.
I remember that.
Legendary. So we got a winner here. We got Neil up to 3 points. And this is game that was called Guess the Super Bowl. We're going to keep that on the table, but I also got a next game for our next episode that's going to be fun as well, kind of similar to this. Hopefully we can get everybody on there, and that'll be fun too, so we can spread it out a little bit more. But I appreciate you guys for coming on today again, discussing these topics with me, giving me an hour of your time on our Friday night. I appreciate it. Give me your thoughts. You know, we don't have a lot of sports going on right now, so we're just trying to take the information that we do get. I know we didn't get back into the NBA because I know they're still configuring things. We got a couple players who aren't, sure about restarting in Orlando, which is a little concern.
Kyrie,
but Melo.
I love him, but come on, man.
I heard Melo. Melo's kind of contemplating it too.
Melo too, yeah.
In Orlando, but it's all about safety and health. So hopefully everything gets figured out, and if they do decide to restart it, they restart it within a safe manner. But once they configure more, which I think they will next week, we'll get into that. We'll also get into some of the franchise tags as well. Who's going to get signed before the franchise tag? I know we got, we got big name players on there. Unique Ngakoue trying to get traded. You also got Dak Prescott on a franchise tag as well. So we got to get into that next week. Hopefully we got some more information. But like I said, appreciate y'all for giving y'all Friday night to me. Definitely
anytime, my friend.
All right. All right. Peace out.
All right, now
y'all be safe.
now.
All right, y'all be safe. All right.